Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to my channel, The Focus Millennial. This is your one-stop shop for high quality leadership and entrepreneurship content. So we're back after a long break. I stopped making videos for a while. It just really got quite intense to kind of fit into my schedule. But yeah, I've come back and I'm come back with the plan. It's going to be a lot more consistent on the posts, and hey, we're going to mix it up a little bit. In the first videos that I was releasing, I was speaking mainly about entrepreneurship, but I want to start introducing more leadership topics. And hey, I'm really excited about today's topic because we're going to be answering a very pertinent question. It's a topic that I often reflect about often, and we're going to be speaking about what makes a great leader. Now, I know we've got this common, conception that leaders and great leaders are these people who, always know what to say. They have information about absolutely every single aspect of what they're doing. They're completely secure in themselves and every single decision that they make. But I kind of want to make the argument that that's a very outdated notion about what leadership is. So if that's not leadership in my viewpoint, then what is? We're going to go into 5 points or 5 traits that make up a great leader. So make sure that you watch this until the end. So, all right, I want to start off by just saying that I believe that you are a leader. Now, I know that might come off a bit weird. You might be thinking to yourself, me, am I a leader? But yes, I want to say that you are a leader. I believe that every single person who exists in the context of a community is in fact a leader. Now, there's a dirty misconception going out that leadership is all about power and influence, or power and competence. But I want to actually put it to you or suggest that leadership is actually more about influence and trust as opposed to power and competence. And if you would reflect deeply, right, I'm sure you'd actually figure out that there's at least one other person on this earth that you have influence over, other than yourself, right? So it could be your siblings, it could be your children, it could be your congregants, your students, your team at work. So long as there's someone who you have influence over and there's a certain level of mutual trust between you two, then you have got a leadership position over that person. Now, that is great and all. So we're all leaders, right? Let's say you agree with me, we're all leaders. That doesn't necessarily make you a great leader, unfortunately. And it's super important that we should want to become better leaders. And the reason being is that when we as leaders start to become more intentional about our development and just our journey growing as a leader, who are the people who are going to benefit? The very same people that you have influence over, which in most cases would be your loved ones. So it's in our best interest to develop ourselves as leaders because they are the ones who are going to enjoy the fruits of that. And hey, I've got this radical idea that when leaders in society, which is everyone, starts to develop and becoming more intentional about being the best version of themselves within their leadership, then we're going to have better doctors out there. We're going to have better fathers. We're going to have better brothers and sisters. And that could ultimately result in the world being a much better place. So that's a really radical and awesome thought, something to think about. So you should want to be a leader. So with that said, let's go into what are the 5 traits of a great leader. Well, trait number 1, great leaders are extremely, extremely humble people. And in the words of one of my favorite preachers, Pastor Chad Veach, he says, great leaders are not big time. What does that mean? Who's a big time person? A big time person is somebody who really thinks really highly of themselves, Have you ever met a big time person? Somebody who just rocks up to meetings whenever they want? Somebody who just talks down on people all the time, always trying to position themselves in a place of power over others. Those are big time leaders. Now they want you to believe that they're great, but actually they are probably the most insecure leaders out there. But great leaders are not big time. Great leaders are humble, guys. Great leaders, you've encountered a great leader when he speaks about you, he makes you sound like an absolute rock star. But that time, he is such an accomplished person, but he just has this habit, this insatiable habit to constantly speak other people up. That's when you're dealing with a great leader. Great leaders, man, they will make you feel so good about yourself. And that's how they're able to get the best out of people. That's how they're able to get trust out of people, because they're extremely, extremely humble, and they know that other people possess what they need to bring whatever their vision is to life. So that's the first trait. Great leaders are extremely humble. So trait number 2, great leaders are very integrous people, guys. Now, what does that mean? Well, to be integrous means whether you're watching them, right, or whether you're not, you can be sure that this leader is doing what's best for the team and for the organization. Great leaders are integrous, guys. These people lead by example. They will not tell you to do one thing and then go and do another thing, right? But oftentimes, whatever they will ask you to do, they are probably doing it already, or they would do it at the drop of a hat. So there are people who are very, very integrous. Now, Simon Sinek puts it best. He says, to be integrous is when your words and your actions match your intentions. So these leaders are leaders that have great intentions for their teams, their people, their organizations, but they also take those intentions and put it to action. And even in the way that they speak, even in their words, everything is always aligned. And that's why you can rely on these people when your chips are down. So great leaders are extremely, extremely integrous. Okay, so trait number 3. Great leaders are empathetic. Oh, I love this about great leaders. Great leaders are empathetic, guys. These are people who are not self-consumed. These are people who are not just wallowing in their own problems, but often they're curious about others and the problems of other people. Now, these leaders have developed and fine-tuned this ability to listen, but not only listening to just respond like a lot of us do, but they listen because they try to understand. And they're always looking out for a point of connection. So they want to relate with you. And, they want to encourage you to be vulnerable, but not just for the sake of it, right? I mean, they often will lead in being vulnerable so that they can create a platform where you feel safe to be vulnerable yourself. So they're extremely, extremely empathetic. And if you meet somebody who you think is this great leader and they don't have a bone of empathy in their body, guys, that is not a great leader. Trust me, that is an insecure leader. That is an insecure leader. In fact, that's embarrassing. That's just embarrassing. So great leaders are empathetic, and you should want to be empathetic. Hey, so the 4th trait of great leaders is that these guys are talent spotters. Talent spotters. Great leaders are talent spotters. Great leaders are always on the lookout to identify the native genius of the people that they work with, of their teams. Man, they sometimes they know that they know your strong point more than you even know it yourself, because they're very attentive and they're constantly looking out for what are the strengths of our team and how can we utilize those strengths so that we can get the best possible result. So these are genius spotters. They're able to identify this, and they're able to leverage it, and they're able to make you feel really, really good about what you're strong in. They don't focus on what you're not good at, but they will focus in on what you are good at and help you to double down on that. And then the whole team will benefit from your native genius. So these guys are talent spotters. They're genius spotters, and that's why we love great leaders. We all love great leaders. Great leaders bring out the best in us because they tell us and they affirm us about things about ourselves that we might be insecure about. So that's the 4th trait about really, really great leaders. These guys are talent spotters. Now, the 5th and final trait on my list, and this for me is by far the most important, is that great leaders make their people better. They make their people better. In the words of Tom Peters, these leaders don't create more followers. They create more leaders. So leaders leading other leaders, those are great leaders. And how do they do this, right? So contrary to popular belief, great leaders don't delegate tasks. All right. A lot of people always say that a great leader is somebody who delegates tasks. That's not true. Great leaders do not delegate tasks. They delegate authority and responsibility. These leaders genuinely trust the people that are part of their teams. And they want to constantly empower them by giving them authority, real significant authority to make decisions that have actual bearing on the organization and can directly impact, the organization. So these people have put in a tremendous amount of trust on their teams. And not only do they give you the authority, but they also give you the sense of accomplishment that comes with owning your success. So if you succeed, when they give you authority, then they also let you enjoy the fullness of that success. But then the flip side is also true, that if you fail, because they want you to grow, they're going to allow you to own that as well. So these people make you better by giving you opportunities to really show yourself and challenge yourself and just enjoy that sense of accomplishment of doing something beyond your own personal boundaries or your borders. So these people are experts at making the people around them better. And that's why we love great leaders. So, all right, that's my list. Those are the 5 things that I believe make great leaders in this modern day society of ours. Leaders are not perfect. Great leaders are not perfect people. They're not people that, know absolutely everything, but they are people who are experts at their people. Now, if there's anything that I want you to take away from this video today, first of all, is that you are a leader, my friend. I've already gone through that, right? Whether you're a teacher, Sunday school teacher, whether you're a mother of 2, whether you're the youngest born in your family, so long as you have influence and trust over other people, then you are a leader. And it's also in your best interest, like I mentioned, to become a great leader. Why? Because when you start flexing that leadership muscle, the people who will benefit are the very same people whom you care and you love. The people who you love. That's fantastic. Right? And the third thing that I want you to take away from this, and this is the most important, is that anyone can develop these qualities. These traits are not, they're not something that if you didn't put a little bit of time in, a little bit of putting yourself in situations that require you to grow in these areas, you would develop and you'd become a great leader too. All right. So just pick one of these traits, one a month, and just try your best to constantly put yourself in situations that require you to be humble. Maybe don't speak up first. Maybe speak about other people. Maybe make other people look good. Maybe you need to practice what you preach, even when others are not looking, for a whole month. Maybe you need to be empathetic. Put your problems aside for a month and focus on the problems of others. And maybe while you're at it, look out for the talent in other people and try and speak that up, right? So that you can empower them to double down on those talents. And lastly, try your best over the next month to make others around you better. Delegate real authority and watch your teams grow and watch your people start to grow in confidence and to succeed for your organization. So that is it for this video. If you like this content, then please subscribe to the channel. If you feel like anyone that you know would benefit from this video, please invite them to also come and subscribe to this channel. And hey, if you felt like maybe I left out one of the key traits that you feel make up a great leader, then please let me know in the comment section. I'll go through them myself and I'll engage with you. But until next time, stay focused.